Grace upon grace.
Grace upon grace.
Grace upon grace. Grace upon grace.
The chapel is where it all began. In 1973, the Holy Spirit blew and assembled a church. From apartment clubhouse worship and elementary school gathering, a church was forming. In 1974, construction plans began for a worship space, for Sunday church school and an office. And TVLC broke ground right here, making a dedicated space for people to worship God and serve together. With its first service in 1977, this space served as the roots that gave wings to all the other buildings on campus. As TVLC grew, so did its need for a larger worship space. With the construction emphasis on the newer, larger sanctuary, the chapel went through several reincarnations. For many years, among the altar and the baptismal font, it sat collecting dust and was used for storage. The food ministry utilized the closet and would expand into the chapel for deliveries. The space was used for various multi-purpose events, gatherings, plays, preschool and Sunday school chapels. Amid the pandemic, the food ministry outgrew its chapel space, needing a permanent location to accommodate its increased food distribution. The food ministry set up on the stage, and the gathering service was also looking for a more intimate setting for worship, and the chapel provided the perfect location to grow into. That first Sunday of worship, you could hear the voices reverberate, the joy fill the air. A worship venue recaptured. It was clear that worship is meant to take place here, where it all began. We envision having the same first impression of our sanctuary with a beautiful, open and inviting space full of natural light. To help, we anticipate adding strategically placed windows and indirect light, perhaps even a reverse skylight that allows the hung cross to be illumined. Potentially introducing stone and a fixed altar, a raised ceiling to maximize the view of the stained glass. The back closets opened up for more seating, new elements like new flooring, a dedicated soundboard space, introducing recessed lighting. Upon entry, we are excited about the potential of a courtyard with a mural that defines an entry point into the chapel. In thinking about transformation, we want to give this space new life, fostering worship and ministry for the next several decades. We want to create an open and inviting space that accommodates smaller worship, up to 100 people, services like the gathering, weddings, funerals, concerts, perhaps even the 8 a.m. service. We also want to equip it with the latest technology for live stream, seminars and larger studies and presentations. As this space is the heartbeat of our campus, we want to reclaim it for worship. We want it to continue to be life-giving in new and exciting ways.
I am so excited about the renovation of the chapel because it has such a history for TVLC anyway. Just the light and the reflection of everything in that room will be enchantingly gorgeous.
Sometimes when I walk into that chapel, I really, really wish that we could make some fun improvements for better learning about for the people and the children, because I really, really want some other kids to have a good experience with some nice stuff.
I can't look away from the prospect of the chapel being upgraded. The idea that we create this space in such a way that we'll be able to broadcast that service as well is going to be such a boon for the community to see a different way to worship. And that really excites me, gives me hope, makes me want to get involved. I have a hammer and I don't live that far away.
I think space can bring out the best in, just itself. It can bring out the best in the people that are there when it's nostalgia or it's just fresh and encouraging and new, when it's bright and open, or if it's just the pieces in the space that kind of can evoke some sense of comfort or just joy. A nice, bright, open place will make me feel a little bit more like it, a little bit more open to new things, a little bit more positive.
And it has been kind of sad to see it sitting over there. I miss the glass doors. I don't know if you guys remember if you ever saw the glass doors, but where there's a wall now, there used to be glass doors and they would open for Christmas Eve and for Easter and everything, and my poor father would stand back there and grind his teeth and worry that the fire marshal was going to show off, but that's my dad. The idea that turns into another worship space in this church, we are big enough and we are robust enough and we are active enough that we could put two worship spaces together. That's sanctified ground that should be used. And I'm not saying that the things that it has been used for took away from that. In fact, I love the idea that that's where the food ministry worked, right? I think that just that imbued that space with that much more love and that much more,
generosity.
Yeah. I think we can use it. I love the idea that it's going to be put back to use, because I hadn't walked in and thought of it as a sanctuary in a while. I'd been in there for the food ministry. I'd wandered in to drop stuff off, but I hadn't actually been in there.
Our chapel, where our first worshipers started this community, singing and praising God. And once it was outgrown, they went to the sanctuary. But I think this is a good time for us to go back to our roots and see the wonders that are here on this campus, and that we can reclaim the love for this community which was started. And with all these years here on Tankerverde Road, we can look forward to the future here at TVLC and all that we have that we can share with our community, opening our doors to lovely places and spaces here on this campus, both inside and out.